Peace Queen. It's Melissa Crawford of thequeencode.com, and my message today is actually part 3 of the Character of a Queen series. So in part 1, I discussed how we show up in the world and having that mantra of always wearing your invisible crown, because the truth is, even when you think no one is watching, people are watching. And as queens, we're held to a different standard. So it's very important that when we're in public, we're being in integrity and excellence, because that's just who we are. So that's part 1. In part 2, I talked about personal responsibility. And it's really about becoming aware of the fact that everything that's showing up in your life is a reflection of where you are and what you believe. So if there's something in your life that's not serving you, it's only there because you've allowed it to be there. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but on the flip side of that, you have the power to change it by changing you. So it's about taking 100% responsibility for the outcomes in your life. And that's a very powerful key that helps unlock the Queen Code. So in part 3, I want to talk about an issue that I feel is very urgent right now for women in this society. And that's the issue of greater self-worth. And I can talk about self-worth from many different angles, but every time I think about this issue, it always reminds me of one of my favorite queens, and that is the Proverbs 31 woman. And if you've ever read that passage, it's basically the portrait of a queen on her throne. And it's also an example of how you run your queendom. But I really want to draw attention to the first 2 lines where it says, "Who can find a virtuous woman, a woman of great character, a woman of high principles, a woman of integrity, a woman pure in heart, an honest woman? Who can find a virtuous woman? For her worth is far above rubies." And right now in this society where, we have women being portrayed in the media all kinds of ways, the reality shows and the cat fights and, all this conflict and chaos, we're not being portrayed in the right light. And we're better than that. I'm a woman of great virtue. You're a woman of great virtue. It's really time for us to rise up and show the world what a woman truly is, that she's really a queen. And it begins by increasing our self-worth. And how do you do that? How do you increase your self-worth? The number one way that I know to do that, or the first way to do that, is by going within. And it may sound simple, and don't be deceived by that, but it's really going within. That's how you begin to increase your self-worth. Because the truth is, there's nothing in this world that can give us self-worth. There's nothing on the outside that can give us self-worth. It's just all manifestations. But when we begin to go within, that's where we find the love of ourselves, because we begin to see ourselves the way God sees us. We begin to see ourselves in the light of the Most High. When we begin to go within, deep within, and excavate the truth that's within us, that's what increases our self-love and increases our self-worth. So Queen, my question to you this week is, do you go within? Do you spend a little time every day to just go within and get silent, whether it's prayer or meditation or just silence? Are you really spending that time getting to know who you are, getting to know the truth of who you are? Self-worth is not about the clothes that you have on or the car that you drive. As the passage says, her worth is far above rubies, material things. Self-worth is really about going within and learning and cultivating the love of yourself and living from that place. It's time for us to do that. And that truly is what being a queen is about. As I said, the queen is not necessarily a person, as she is a state of consciousness, a state of awareness. A queen loves herself. A queen has great self-worth and great value. So this week, begin to focus on that. If you don't have a way of going within, then begin to incorporate that in your lifestyle and in your day-to-day, because how can we really understand who we are if we don't go to that place within? And if you do go within like I do, it's time to increase in that. I think in this season, we're all being called upwards. It doesn't matter where you are, what you normally do, we all have to step our game up because there's a great work to do. So really focus on going within and just seeing yourself as God sees you. Yes, I know what the media says. Yes, you know, your friends and your family may say this, that, and the third, but what does God say about you? You can only find that from going within. So that's my message today, okay? In the meantime, I do have a wonderful gift for you. If you go over to my site at www.thequeencode.com, you can download a copy of the audio, Queen, You Were Born to Succeed, because you absolutely were. And that's just a part of who we are. That's our blueprint. That's our destiny. So all you simply have to do to claim that gift is go to www.thequeencode.com, and I'll talk to you soon.